All right, everyone, we should be live. Let's make sure that's actually the case. Over on Rumble, of course. Unpause and repause to make sure that we don't have to see our ugly mug in triplicate. That would be a real big problem and a real big distraction. I'm going to talk about the Diddy case. That's the main news of the day. It's all anyone's talking about on the news, actually, at the moment. We have to talk about this very, very strange Guardian article. There are multiple layers of projection going on here with regards to the left wing's daddy issues. It's almost creepy, actually. It's a little bit rapey at times, actually. Making foreign aid great again from yesterday, Marco Rubio. Again, defying expectations. I expected Marco Rubio to be a mediocre Secretary of State. He has done so far a very good job, actually. And I'm no Marco Rubio fan. It's like he decided to switch teams and side with the good guys, which is good. And then they're still rambling about the big beautiful bill and stuff like that, assuming that it's gone back to the House. The Senate did pass it. J.D. Vance was the tie-breaking vote. We'll see what happens in the House. I think that they have the votes for it, but we're going to wait and see. So we're not even sure that this is actually going to be a passed bill yet. We're not 100% sure, actually. Harrison Bergeron, say no to all foreign aids. I don't have a problem with funding a close ally in a time of great need, but generally speaking, I would agree with you. And that's some of the sum and substance of what Marco Rubio is talking about is, and this is something that's been discussed, debated within anthropology for decades, by the way. This was brought up when I was in college. This is back in, 2009 or something like that. It's been debated hotly among anthropologists especially. Is foreign aid and immigration law basically making other nations reliant and giving them brain drain? The answer, of course, is yes. Rubio appears to understand this. That is refreshing. Oh God, we've got Rumble rants coming in rapid fire. One tall order. If Trump truly wanted to destroy Iran's nuclear facilities, his first mistake was dropping a little pea shooter like the GBU-57. Instead of dropping a truly destructive weapon like a I can't repeat that. My apologies. Not when I'm also live on YouTube. Cooking Inferno. Styx's anti-Louisiana chaos magic goes stray and instead acquits Diddy. No, but Jimmy Swaggart is gone. Good riddance. It's time for some latte. Yes, indeed. I have not tried this yet. It's a mocha cold brew. I've been saving this for a special occasion. Today, cheers. Way better than Starbucks, that's for sure. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. It's not too sweet. I don't really like sweet foods. Unless it's General Tso's chicken or something like that. Oh yeah, I just realized that, Bog. Stuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni. Yeah, I guess technically I've done that. But actually, this is a sparrow feather, and it's in there specifically because people keep referring to me as Jack Sparrow everywhere I go. That's really good. This is a lot better than fucking Starbucks or anything that they make. La Colombe Coffee Roasters Draft Latte, established 1994. Good job, guys. I needed the caffeine. What can I say? Now speaking is now poking. Keep in mind, if you're not paying, if you do that too many times, you have a problem. Copium Poppies. YouTube is blocking us from promoting our music video Obsequium. They cite negative events or imagery. The video would not be considered so by anyone it would be relevant to. Yeah, well, YouTube has gone off the deep end at this point. And now Copium Poppies is joining in the poke war. Cal chuckles. Tell Anton in Roanoke, Texas, I say hi from the other Roanoke in Appalachia. Cool. Yeah, definitely by the king of biltongs, Biltong. In fact, let's get to our sponsors really quickly before we get into the news. I've decided to move it forward to the beginning of the videos that I make, the live streams. We have cultivated-mind.com. Don't worry, today I did not forget to take my delicious mushroom pills. Radiant Energy, Brain Squared, you've got Immune Renew, and you've now got Doggo Snacks. Use code STICKS on their site for a discount. Same on BiltongUSA.com. Anton can hook you up with the latest and greatest meats. Also, since Anton is there, as per tradition, we must eat either Bovrite, Vegemite, or Marmite. Today I'm going to go with the Bovrite, although I am going to make a stir fry tomorrow. Today we're having burgers and French fries. Tomorrow, though, I'm going to use some of this Bovrite. Delicious. As the base for the stir-fry sauce, actually. So I'm going to need a little bit more of that sometime, my friend. I think I've only got one other container, but I don't know exactly where it went. It's a big problem. Again, use code STICKS for 10% off. Anton can also hook you up with all of that, as well as Sticks, X, and Hammer, mugs, tumblers, and shirts. And finally, jamandbean.com. That is JAMNbean.com, where you can get this. Clanker coffee. And it smells delicious. Also a variety of other coffees, as well as various teas. I think I've got some of them here somewhere. Oh, they're off to the side. I'd have to go off camera to grab them. All sorts of different teas. The Yunnan Jig is the one that I like the most. It's just like the tea that you get in a Chinese restaurant, only better. And you can put it right through a drip filter, by the way, and then just chug it for hours. It is mildly caffeinated, so keep in mind the time of day that you're actually drinking it. Cam2425IA, hello and goodbye, Clankton. Have a good one. Aww. He must have had something to do. Either that or he got pissed at me. That happens sometimes. Yeah, Diddy. We've got to talk about P. Diddy. Diddy found guilty of a couple of charges. He managed to escape the 3 most major charges, however. RICO, not guilty. Which I actually agree with. There's not enough evidence to say that he racketeered. So that I actually agree with. Sex trafficking, Cassie Ventura, not guilty. Mann Act transportation, Cassie Ventura, guilty. So you trafficked somebody across state lines, but it wasn't for prostitution purposes. I mean, this requires a little bit of explanation with regards to the law. Sex trafficking, Jane, not guilty. Mann Act transportation, Jane, guilty. He faces up to 20 years technically, but he's not going to get fucking... When they sentence him, he's not going to get anywhere near that. He's going to get effectively, for somebody of his stature, a slap on the wrist. And here's what happened. They could prove that he transported females across state lines in order to get them to have sex with other men. And it appears that he's into cuckoldry, actually, which is hilarious. But they can't prove that he was doing it for pay and therefore prostituting them. And the racketeering charge, the RICO charge, was completely separate, so it makes absolutely no difference. That's basically what happened here. He will, in the end, probably serve a short sentence. He'll get time off for good behavior. He might not even serve any time in jail. And in the end, he might literally get the charge dropped to probation or something like that. This is how the justice system works, everyone. You can traffic people across national borders, state borders, repeatedly, and effectively because you've got money and stature and fame and so forth. You can get off with, a slap on the wrist. If you, however, engage in any negative behavior, even if it's justified, even if it's explainable, etc., and you do not have a high-powered attorney, or multiple attorneys, I think he has, then you will probably get the book thrown at you. And there's nothing that you can do about it. Basically, the law is like a spider web. The wasps go free, and the flies get caught. Old Vermont proverb. There's several variants of the basic premise. Copium. I just realized that all the rising crust frozen pizzas are garbage. They all taste like fucking DiGiorno. Thin crust is the way to go with frozen pizza. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that one. Diddy should rat out all the other pedo elites since double jeopardy is a thing. Yeah, I don't think that he's going to do that because he probably doesn't want to die. That's the other problem. But as far as the Diddy charges, it doesn't really surprise me at all. It doesn't surprise me. The racketeering charge was kind of spacious anyway, so that one I expected him to be found not guilty on. But it's funny that you can be found guilty of taking someone across state lines for sexual purposes, but if you're just transporting them, that's perfectly legal. For instance, I've, transported women up here to have sex with them. Not for pay or anything like that, and I broke no laws in doing so. But what he was doing was having them fuck other people. Is that not a form of prostitution? Hey, I'll buy you a Corvette if you just come and fuck my friend. That sounds like prostitution to me. Of a sort, at the very least. Just saying. Copium, he has enough money to buy security. Yeah, that's the other thing. When you've got money, you can always, if you do go to jail, it's going to be a little bit easier for you. And just bribe everyone else. I mean, literally, he was pimping them out. He was getting, high-class individuals hooked up with people who were, attractive to whatever standards they happen to have. That being said, if you're transporting them across state lines, that's under the Mann Act and so forth. That's illegal. But if you are transporting them specifically with the intent to pimp them out, how can you not find him guilty on the pimping charges? That's what I would like to ask. The court's decision makes no sense. The jury makes no sense. And I have a feeling that basically it appears to be a couple of holdouts within the jury. Basically, they nullified the verdict. I agree with jury nullification too, but I would apply it more to anti-gunnery, charges with regards to so-called hate speech, things like that. A little bit different. Cooking Inferno. Diddy may go free, but his bank accounts won't be after the mountain of civil suits that await him. It's almost more of a punishment to rich people to take all their money. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. His punishment has only just begun. Copium poppies. No, I meant if he rats out the other elites. Yeah, but then he ends up getting killed. And he knows this, so it won't happen. One tall order. Donald Trump this week. Friendship ended with Elon Musk. Now, Julius Malema is my best friend. I hate this condescending feminoid article from The Guardian. I've gotten used to seeing The Guardian as one of the worst legacy media publications in the entire world. which is sad considering its founding goal. But it has become basically just a mouthpiece for globalism completely. This is the title of this article by Arwa Madawi. You can probably imagine what political disposition this individual is of. I can't believe I need to spell this out, but Trump is not your daddy. No shit, Sherlock. Nobody has ever claimed that. Only a handful of leftoids appear to be echoing this particular sentiment. Very interesting, the projection involved. Now, what you need is a daddy. That's the whole point. This is called psychological projection. Leftoids have this weird proclivity at this point towards, especially with regards to Trump, projecting their insane fetishes off on people on the right. So they will say, like, you imagine that Trump is your daddy. He's going to take care of you. No, I don't. He's the president of the United States. What the hell are you talking about? Trump is fat and pees himself and shits everywhere and like weird shit like this. And it always sounds like psychological projection. It's like, okay, so you're obese and have a shit fetish. And you're basically just fantasizing about Trump having the same thing because you hate yourself. And so you're projecting that hate on Donald Trump. This has happened so many goddamn times, I can't even count them. This is a great example of this. From the MAGA crowd to NATO's Secretary General, everyone is addressing the President of the U.S. as if he was their actual father. Make it stop. No, nobody's doing that. What are you talking about? The only people that are even mentioning the issue are people who fucking viscerally hate Donald Trump. Nobody else is talking about this shit. I've never seen a single post by any commentator who supports Donald Trump, or even commentators who support generally Republican ideology and may or may not even particularly like Trump. I've never seen anyone say anything that even remotely regards this. What are you talking about? So it's a clickbait piece, that much is definitely assured. But it's also psychological projection. At this point, the left has become so delusional that they have to make up ghosts. It's not just they have to project. They have to make up issues that do not even exist. Nobody considers Donald Trump to be their dadums. We're not doing that. We're saying that we think that he is superior to the candidates that you choose to field. By the way, you're writing for The Guardian. When last I checked, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, believe The Guardian is from the UK, not from the United States. Wow, very interesting. I thought that it was bad to weigh in on foreign policy. Interesting. So yeah, the Daddy Trump thing is a meme, but it's just a meme. I guess this chick didn't get the memo. By the way, I've noticed that a lot of the pundits out there use badly outdated photos of themselves to show themselves when they write articles, and they'll be 20 years old. So they look like young and fresh, but really they're all wrinkled up and fucked up. The Wanderer, Tarl, did you specifically target Jimmy Swaggart, or was he just caught in the crossfire of your ritual, so to speak? I conducted a ritual. I'll be doing the same tonight. That was targeted at Louisiana in the general sense. Yes. Jimmy Swaggart deserved to be punished, and so he was punished. Yeah, that insane old asshole was dying anyway, admittedly. But, you can always hasten someone's demise with black magic. And it was funny. Jimmy Swaggart. Yes, indeed. Whose scandal was roughly a month after I was born, by the way. Another coincidence. Back in 1988. Jimmy Swaggart is the televangelist, very famous one. Infamous, you could say. Who did that "I have sinned" speech. Crying to his congregation. Crying for forgiveness. It's like, okay, well, you're pretending to be a man of God. It's like, if a normal person visits a prostitute, I don't Care. Oldest profession in the world. Well, technically not, but that's the saying. If you want to visit a hooker, male or female, whatever you're into, you want to do drugs, none of these things matter to me as long as you're not judgmental. Remember Jesus' command, and this is what killed Swaggart's career. Jesus said, "Judge not, lest ye be judged." It's okay to have character flaws and to err and to sin and all of these other things. But once you begin judging other people about that which you yourself are doing, that's when it becomes a problem. That's when it becomes a problem. I try to warn people about this. They never listen to me, so they didn't listen to Jesus either, so it's never going to happen. Yeah, Archon, Ted Haggard. Yeah, you remember Ted Haggard? He was a frequent televangelistic preacher against homosexuality and drug use. He was found in a hotel room with an 18-year-old gay hooker smoking amphetamine and snorting cocaine. Hypocrite. I hate hypocrisy. Hypocrisy and NIMBYism. Those are my two fabled enemies. You can do whatever else you want. If you want to engage in drug use, prostitution, whatever, I'm not going to judge you. I'm more Christian than most Christians, actually, I've noticed. Very strange. Not the pirate hat again, says Bobby Bobbinson. Well, I mean, I can swap it out for any of a number of military helmets, or the beret, or anything else. But I chose to wear this today, because it's my channel, and therefore my choice. One tall order, kill the board, the white farmer, shoot to kill, burpa, right now. Yep, actually the unofficial national anthem of South Africa, literally. Copium poppies, how will he get killed if he has security? He can afford to disappear and have protection. Well, I mean, if he's in a jail, his security is not coming with him. He'll just have to bribe people. He'll fill up their commissaries and say, look, I'm P. Diddy. You know, half of you people probably are fans of mine. So here's some money, have my back. He'll just have to keep his head down. And he's not going to serve fucking 20 years. You know that. We all know that. Cooking Inferno. What's the name of that asshole Charleston evangelist on Texas that closed his megachurch during the massive flood so no one could take refuge? I did hear that story, but I can't remember the name. I have no clue. Cooking Inferno. Charlatan, not Charleston. Oh, okay. No, I do remember the story. In fact, I think I mentioned it years ago. But, no, I can't remember the name. Somebody can point it out, maybe. Oh, Joel Osteen. Yeah, Joel Osteen. Yeah, thank you, chat. Copium poppies. I mean, when he gets out. Oh, he'll be fine when he gets out. He'll go back to his mansion and, probably continue his negative behaviors. Sounds like the mail has just come. Give me a moment. All right, that was weird. There was a mail truck, but then it goes past. And then I find out that the sound actually was coming from the neighbor mowing their lawn and them doing work out on the side. They're building a path, actually, right beside our house. There's an easement there now. And they've done a good job, actually. I've got to give the state of Vermont credit, or at least Rutland County credit, for one glaring thing. It is not often that you get a government project that is under budget, ahead of schedule, and actually works out. But they managed to make it work, actually. I don't know, some ingenuity there. Yeah, see, there goes the truck again. Nah, Sticks, you're just high again and hearing things that aren't there. No, actually, that was a dump truck. Spucko, so, do you have the Death Note? No. Yeah, a government program that actually worked. This does not happen very often, especially in a state like Vermont. Copium. No, I'm talking if he rats on the other elites, he can hire security so he doesn't get killed for doing so. Yeah, but, if you rat out like the Clintons and people like that, eventually somebody can get through your security detail. Hell, they almost blew Trump's head off. He was surrounded by all sorts of layers of security. Although they kind of let it happen. Copium. Oh, did you listen to Antichrist Superstar yet? We're going to bug you until you do, because that is the quintessential Manson album. I covered Antichrist Superstar, actually, once. I literally covered the song with Gifts Ungiven. Let me get the link to you. Yeah, trust me, I've listened to a lot of Marilyn Manson music. I like to think that I did a reasonably good job on the vocals here. I mean, if you haven't seen it, there you go. Yeah. Sleazy P. Martini, actually, I showed it to him and he liked it and compared me to The Doors or something like that. Yeah. Peter Sigard, I almost saw his nipple there. Plenty of people have seen my nipples. There's absolutely, Dexter Spunky. Hey, I know you. Well, I'd hope so, since you're on the channel. Here, we have fun. We don't take things too seriously. Because taking things seriously is just too goddamn tedious. Making foreign aid great again. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Now, here are my thoughts on foreign aid. Number one, it is generally a bad idea to give foreign aid to other countries. Number two, occasionally it is necessary. These things can coexist. Generally, the latter should be in times of war, famine, in countries that are otherwise already developed. What the Trump administration is attempting to do is pivot from simply giving freebies to other countries, thus dumbing down their economies, which we will get into again from an anthropological perspective, to trying to develop those countries so they can stand on their own, prioritizing countries which have shown a willingness and capability to do so, and accept U.S. foreign investment. This could be a huge boon for the U.S. economy, by the way. If U.S. factories and shit start propping up in these other countries, adding to the local economy, then it will make us money as well. So you've effectively invested, and then you've gotten your investment back. That's basically the goal. I agree with this. The same is true within an educational construct. One thing that's hotly debated within anthropology is the wisdom of importing the best and brightest from third world nations. So let's say that you've got the top student in all of Rwanda who is a math genius or something, and you import him. Well, that's one less mathematician that would have been able to add to the Rwandan economy, now isn't it? Instead, it makes more sense to invest in that individual and their capabilities in Rwanda using US firms in order to make money for the United States while also propping up an economic chunk in that country. It brings you a return. Now, government's not the best at bringing a return. That's why you use third-party companies, effectively. BW, I'm still not sure about Dome. You think BBB will make it through the House without being too diluted? Well, it's already been diluted, sadly. I think there's a 50-50 chance that it makes it through the House. It's very difficult to tell because you've got such a slim margin. And the Senate bill is vastly different from the House bill, so some people might balk at that. It is basically a must pass, and if it doesn't pass, it's going to sully the Trump administration to some extent. As far as Golden Dome, it's not doable. There's no way that we can possibly create such a system within the United States. Israel, with its Iron Dome, is a very small country. It is very easy for it, therefore, to defend its airspace. The United States is a large chunk of an entire continent. It's a little bit different. Defending everything at once would be nigh on impossible with our budgetary capabilities. Copium, you said yesterday you haven't heard the album and were unfamiliar with Irresponsible Hate Anthem, the first track on the album. I listened to it last night, actually. Liked the song, by the way. I think I had heard it, but I sort of forgot it. But yes, I've literally sang Antichrist Superstar, the main song on the album, and I enjoyed it very much. AP Special Education, getting stalked by TMZ, them neighbors won't let me breathe. They banned me off of Instagram because I made that tweet, and my neighbor's not going to sleep till we see Diddy free. Interesting. Part 1, I heard your cover of the song Antichrist Superstar. I super chatted a couple years ago or so now. Came to the same conclusion. Yeah, it's one of the best songs ever made, by the way. BW, if Triple B doesn't pass, you think we lose midterms? Yes. Yes, I do believe so. Bobby Bobinson is also psychologically projecting. He is obsessed with assholes for some odd reason. Cooking Inferno, what makes sense for Rwanda and hell of all sub-Saharan Africa is return them to the former colonial masters to oversee the country's operations. Case in point, Rhodesia versus Zimbabwe. Yeah, could make that argument, yeah. I can't for YouTube TOS reasons. AP Special Education. Israel is a small country, and Iran is a big country. We have a big country that bombed a smaller country, so basically, that is wrong. Well, the United States does need to upgrade its anti-air, anti-missile defenses. I do agree with that. The problem is scaling it to the vast size of the United States. You're going to need to focus on the border regions. Problem is that right now, at least one of the borders is completely overrun. It's improving, but you're going to need to improve it further before you can actually do that and have operative sites. Copium, Part 2. It sounded a lot like the Dulls. It reminded me of an abandoned attempt we made on the song. Oh, you should do it, try it again. Coffee Slayer, hey Sticks, how do you like the coffee I sent you? Very good. I will drink any coffee sent to me. Please do not drug it. Mike L., I can't wait to get that Kanye shirt, by the way. Just saying, my friend. Here's how Trump's mega bill will affect you. This is assuming that it passes. Now, keep in mind, this is a CNN article, so I'm not going to bother to delve into it because it's just dross. It's just basically static in the background at this point. CNN has gone completely insane. They've gone from the network that leans left but is, at least sane, to the network of TDS, effectively. And so when I read an article by them, I am unsurprised when 4 or 5 paragraphs in, it just bleeds into a bunch of bullshit. And that's indeed what this article does. It's effectively scaremongering. They're trying to scare the American public into believing that the economy will collapse, and they're all going to be, and women will be barefooting in the kitchen and crazy shit like that if the big beautiful bill were to pass. That will not happen. It's just like I reported on this morning. For those of you that didn't see the video, you know the term alligator Alcatraz? You know, for the new detention center in southern Florida, down in the middle of the Everglades. Now, they've renamed it Alligator Auschwitz. Apparently, alligator Alcatraz didn't work well enough, so they decided to up the ante. Well, Alcatraz was bad and had logistic issues and, various guard abuses. Now it's being compared to Auschwitz. Now, I wonder, can I please ask any Jewish viewer, do you really believe that temporarily detaining people who have come to your country illegally, they're breaking the law, and then sending them, literally releasing them in order to send them back to their home country, is akin to Auschwitz? Are these two things fundamentally the same? The answer is quite clearly no. This must piss off at least a handful of Jewish people within the country as well. They're reading the newspaper right now going, what the fuck? And then they just roll up a joint with the newspaper and smoke it, just out of sheer misery. It makes absolutely no sense. It has nothing to do, it's not a concentration camp, it's a detention facility. It's an area where people who are already breaking the law are held temporarily, processed, and then they're sent out of the country. They're not being put into a work camp. They're not being starved to death. Yeah, I'm sure Auschwitz, towards the end, I'm sure that they had reasonable access to clean water and to food and stuff like that. No, this detention camp is partially to deal with the overflow so that you have less overcrowding. And none of these people are being made to work in the gravel mine or anything like that. The fuck does it have anything to do with fucking Auschwitz? It has more in common with the concentration camps, we'll call them, for Asian Americans under none other than Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the worst president the United States has ever had, and the only socialist president the United States has ever had. Well, openly and avowedly socialist, at least. Who is vastly overrated. He's held up as the gold standard of the Democratic Party, which is real funny, since on an ethnic basis he decided to take 250,000 people who were lawfully in the country, not illegals, lawful residents and citizens, based on their ethnicity, and put them into concentration camps. Very intriguing. By the way, you like my Styx cup? I happen to be fond of it. Yeah, that was FDR that did that shit. Not Donald Trump. It was Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Holden Sneedmeyer. Midterms are already up in the air after the failure in Iran. If you're lining up with the Daily Wire propaganda take, you know you're in the wrong. Yeah, we've got some political problems, but keep in mind, I'm not a Republican, so I don't have to care. The National Razor. Both of my favorite content creators are in Vermont. You and Josh Slocum of Disaffected. Lots of common sense between the two of you. Oh, I hadn't heard of him. I'll have to look him up. Josh Slocum. Sec. Yeah. Well, I'll have to take a look. Thank you. Copium Poppies. Nah, you already did. Lol. If we ever play it, it will have to be after we eventually start playing live shows. That song requires crowd participation for the full effect. Yeah. Copium Sticks, check your DMs. We sent you a meme we made after seeing your alligator Auschwitz video. Yeah, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever fucking seen from the Democrats. Let me try to look this up. Oh, it hasn't loaded. Oh, there it is. Yes. Oh, it's a picture of an alligator Nazi. Yeah, I know, it's become ridiculous. Comparing it to Alcatraz, okay, that is at least a little bit apt, because Alcatraz, of course, was generally unescapable because of the tidal currents in the waters around it. Likewise, if you're in a detention facility in the Everglades, if you do manage to make it over the fence, it's going to be a real difficult time for you. Good luck getting through the goddamn swamps without getting eaten by something. So that, I mean, at least it's a little hyperbolic, but only a little. Comparing it to Auschwitz, though, that's a little bit more hyperbolic. Are you going to get shot for scaling the fence? No. You might get tased, but you're probably not going to get shot doing so. And when you die, they're probably not going to cremate your body summarily and then dump your ashes in the Everglades. They might. Cooking Inferno, you should get a modified Hugo Boss black uniform and modify it to look like a Trump alligator Auschwitz uniform, just to mess with the left. Big rad white and blue armband with a big T. Also, I could make a mask, actually, with an actual, like, alligator face. You can buy those down in New Orleans. Huh. That's actually not a bad idea. Just glue it to a mask cutout or something. King of Biltong! Taste our authentic Angus and Wagyu Biltong. Premium air-dried with bold, savory flavors. Biltong is a high-protein, low-carb snack. Order now at BiltongUSA.com. Use code STICKS for 10% off. Sounds like a good idea. We should get some more meat. Oh wait, there's already a shipment on its way. Haha. Copium, not just any alligator Nazi, an Alamein SS officer alligator Nazi. Sertorius. Brattleboro is also the setting for one of H.P. Lovecraft works. What was it? I can't remember which one it was, but one of the works was set in Vermont, actually. Was it... Here, let me look it up. And then I'll look up just... fucking... It was, yeah, and H.P. Lovecraft was actually in Vermont. Let's see. I can't remember the name of the actual work. Whisperer in Darkness, yeah. And there were floods in Vermont, and then, like, aliens were washing out through the floodwaters, and then the dude goes slowly batshit insane, basically. This is a repeat feature of H.P. Lovecraft's works, people slowly being driven to insanity. I like to think of him as an inspiration for some of my material and my life. Holden Sneedmeyer. If we're lucky, Trump's ego will make him stick to the successful version of what happened with the strikes. Warmongers will be coming back around. Yeah, warmongers are never going to quit because they make money off of it. That's basically their entire career. Bobby Bobbinson, you should dress as an alligator and give a clankette head. That's a pretty good idea. Cygnus, what is that fancy alien vessel you are drinking from? Custom made? I've got myself a Styx cup. Therefore, I can hydrate myself and not die of sweating too much. Dexter Spunky. No, that's just water. I do have a new favorite caffeinated beverage, though. This is some good shit. It's like, imagine Starbucks, but with half the sugar, and without that weird aftertaste that some of their drinks have. I've only tried it a few times. Yeah, some of them are alright, I suppose, but overpriced and retarded, basically. Cooking Inferno. Sticks, you just like the name Lovecraft gave his cat. Yes, his cat was named the N-word, actually. And even by the standards of the modern age that he lived in, H.P. Lovecraft was virulently racist. We're talking on a massive scale. He considered anyone that wasn't a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, basically, to be effectively nothing more than a heathen barbarian subhuman. And so even by the standards of his time, he was considered to be massively ethnocentric. King of Biltong, Sticks, check your phone. I put you and Josh in contact. If you need his details, I can send it to you. He is a great guy. Thank you. Yeah, my phone is... Well, I'll do that after the live stream. Yeah, Lovecraft, basically, he stopped giving a fuck. And, yeah, he was a massive racist. AP Special Education, overpriced and retarded? Sounds like the slave market near the Civil War. Yeah, I know, you can get them cheap now in Libya. I mean, with my pocket change, I could probably afford to buy a human being right now in North Africa, courtesy of Hillary Clinton. Thank you, Hillary. Really cool. Now I have somebody to cook lentils for me, I suppose. Mike L., speaking of cats, where are yours? Literally wherever they want to be. It is impossible to go to them into the room. Also, I have to keep the door closed because otherwise sound bleeds through because of the thin walls in this particular structure. Taco Woman Sandy Ravage, Jimmy Swaggart, and Jerry Lee Lewis were cousins. Yeah, I actually learned that earlier, and I chuckled at that too. Titus Flavius Vespasianus. Anyone else got a boner? Not at the moment, no. Not really. Yeah, I've got enough money to buy a human being in Libya right now. Which is sad, because it shouldn't have happened. Libya was at least developing. There was a development index that was actually there. Well, you know, now it's sub-Rwandan at the moment. Copium poppies. I'm going to Africa to buy us a drummer. Can they be litter box trained? Yeah, while you're there, pick me up somebody who knows how to cook interesting foods or something like that. I've actually had some Libyan food. I think I cooked it once, actually, years ago. I know I've cooked Moroccan soup. By the way, fucking delicious. You should try it. Look up Moroccan soups. Just trust me on this one. You're going to want to try it. I need to get my ass to Morocco someday. But, yeah. Libya has some interesting cuisine. It has an interesting culture. But it's got problems. Like that time years ago when a monkey, actually, a pet monkey, lifted up a girl's skirt on the street. And two tribes effectively went to war over this because they considered it to be a form of sexual assault. Because, you know, her panties, I guess, were briefly showing or some shit. Or, you know, whatever you wear underneath, you know, your black robe there. Since you're basically a slave anyway. And they started killing each other, and dozens of people died. I can't remember the name of the incident, but it was like, what the hell is happening here? This wouldn't have happened under Gaddafi, because they wouldn't have dared under Gaddafi. Sometimes you need an authoritarian leader. I hate to say this, but sometimes a culture, because of the way it is ingrained over potentially thousands of years, or at least hundreds of years, has grown so addicted to authoritarianism that it's basically like, you know, imagine you have somebody who's a severe heroin user, and you suddenly take away all of their heroin and strap them to a bed. They're going to be shaking and going crazy. At some point, if no substitute opioid, something at least a little bit milder preferably, is given to them, they'll probably die. It's basically the same. Misner Flux. Speaking of Lovecraft, researchers recently drilled over 1,600 feet below the West Antarctic ice sheet to find a subglacial river full of lobster-like creatures, remnants of the great old ones. I need to look up this story. Antarctic ice lobsters. Thank you for the news tip. Ah, yeah, that was fairly recent. How did I not see this news story? Okay, I'm definitely docketing that. Thank you very much for that one, Meisnerflux. I love having science news to talk about. It gets so boring just talking about nothing but politics and current events. Yeah, based acid fox. I put octopus in my asshole, you white ass bitch. Yeah, Bobby, actually get a point. I haven't seen. Well, Mike the Wop was in on the last live stream. He hasn't been in today. Based acid fox. I love telling women to get raped. Hmm. I personally don't do that, although I have again thought about buying one of those shirts from Boyd Rice's shop that simply says rape, just to piss people off. Cooking Inferno. I would say that is the case for Russia. They need their czar. Well, if they need a czar, I mean, I guess I'd have to learn Russian, but I can definitely take command if needed. Patch Christ Hente in the chat. It's all over the place. Yes, Based Acid Fox. Boyd Rice, indeed. He was trolling, basically. One time, apparently at a concert, and this is canonical, he pointed floodlights at the audience and then was laughing his ass off as they started screaming and throwing things at him. I talked to Zena LeVay, actually, and one thing that she mentioned was that he was frequently coked up. This is totally a surprise, by the way, for the mid-1980s. I'm so surprised. Boyd Rice used drugs? No, really? I thought he was like a choir boy. Copium, you can't be a czar. Who would be Rasputin? Yeah, that's fine too. I'll be the court wizard. Actually, Russia's pretty cool. There's a very good series, by the way, called Babylon 5. And my favorite race within the series were the Centauri. And they are quite clearly loosely based on Imperial Russia. It is very, very obvious when you think about it. And the Narns are based on African Americans. I don't believe in hyphenated Americanism, but that's what they're based on. Then you have humans. The Minbari basically resemble, in some essence, maybe the Japanese, Koreans, East Asians in general, and so on and so on forth. It was definitely race-based, which is hysterical. But the Centauri were definitely based off of the Imperial Russian Empire. And I watched every episode of it, along with the movie, which I didn't really like, as a kid with my parents. Yeah, Babylon 5. Good times. I still watch clips of it from time to time. Thought about rewatching well, the first season was great. The second season was great. Third season was good. Fourth season was good. And after that, it sort of kind of falls apart. And then the movie, it really, I won't give any spoilers, by the way. It didn't really do it for me. No, Fireburn. Instead of an I, it should be a Y. But yes, Babylon 5. Dexter Spunky, I have memories of Styx when I was like 12 and I'm 20 now. Dude, Styx is an OG, same with Razor Fist. Yeah, I know. We've been around for a long time. I've been doing the YouTube thing since 2007. In this channel since 2008. Before that, I was Botany 101. Wish I could recover the channel, but I don't have the email associated with it, so there's no way to do so, unfortunately. My original channel, for some reason, this is an interesting story. There was a glitch on YouTube or something. I don't know exactly what happened. Normally, when a channel is taken down, it disappears, right? My original channel was still up for almost half a decade before it was finally completely downed. It was still fully accessible, comments and all. I have no idea what happened. The videos were still there. Everything was there, was just completely inaccessible. I don't know what happened. I literally have no clue. F Winters loading. Fun fact, Sticks. Trump hasn't fired anyone so far. Didn't he fire like 10 people at this point in his first administration? Yeah, he's made better hiring decisions, so he doesn't need to. I mean, even some of the people that I expected to be hit or miss are doing better than expected. Look at Marco Rubio, for example, as Secretary of State. I expected him to be mediocre, acceptable, maybe a 5 out of 10. Instead, he has done actually a pretty good job. I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Keep him on. He's doing his thing. He's doing what he needs to do. Cheesecake. Trump wants to deport Elon. Well, he can't, because Elon is a lawful permanent resident of the United States. In fact, a citizen. He can't be deported. Also, it would be absolutely insane to deport the richest man in the world from your country. Bobby, you're not blocked. Did somebody else block you? I don't block people. You have to go well out of your way to get blocked on my channel. One thing that my enemies can unimpeachably never say about me is that I almost never block anyone. If it's spam, like crypto spam and shit like that, and I happen to see it, maybe I'll block it in passing, because I know it's not even a real person. Or botting or something like that. Perpetual spamming can get you muted, but it probably won't get you banned. You have to be engaging in some sort of unlawful behavior or something like that to get censored on my channel. Damn, I wish I had more of those ketchup chips. Unfortunately, I don't. Oh. By the way, speaking of our cats, there's a reason why they don't show up in this room. It's Alf. The joke is he eats cats, I guess. I was never a huge fan. My uncle, on the other hand, he really liked it. Cooking Inferno Sticks, if you like Russian historical fiction, 2016 miniseries War and Peace, based on Count Tolstoy's novel, is excellent and addictive. Even has a cult in it, and the Freemasons. Have to show off my Freemasonic sword that I got off eBay at some point. Blue Frog, can confirm, Sticks does tolerate some shit. Yeah, you're gonna have to go well out of your way to get banned on this channel. I do not believe in censorship. This is my channel. I get to say whatever I want. Other people, chat is open. They can say whatever they want there. I'm doing it voluntarily. What right do I have to ban them unless they're posting spammy links or something like that? None. I'm allowing them to speak. I'm giving them a soapbox, so to speak. It's just my soapbox happens to be bigger. Copium Poppies. Alf likes to eat pussy. True, absolutely. Harrison Bergeron. I need a nap. Oh, good night. I love reading chat. CB Simple. Spammy links? Wasn't that the South Park gerbil? No, that was Lemmiwinks, I believe. Lemmiwinks destroy WikiLeaks, or something like that. Pixie, that's what sets you ahead of everyone else. Lol. Yeah, I can't get behind censorship because, for most of my life I had people telling me not to say certain things. I always begrudged it. I never liked it. I read the Constitution and Ron Paul and things like that and said, why the fuck am I following your rules? Fuck you. And so I decided to just speak my mind. And so I don't even listen to other people that tell me to stop saying things, dressing certain ways, and so forth. And so, because I'm not a hypocrite, I'm not an NIMBYist, I don't expect anyone to listen to my advice. I can give it, but it's just advice. I don't have the right to silence them. I don't want to silence them. It's bullshit. You show weakness when you censor people. A government that censors its people is fundamentally showing its weakness towards the people and the fact that they are disaffected and don't actually like the government. They only follow it because they fear reprisal if they step out of line. Earth Prism 093, thoughts on Candace? I have mixed thoughts on Candace Owens. She has some relatively intelligent commentary, which is more than you can say for the average commentator on the same level. That being said, I don't agree with all of her views. But then again, that's the same thing for literally everyone. Even my brother from another mother, Razor Fist. We do not agree on steak. He takes it well done. Fucking barbarian. No, you have to take it medium rare. Or medium. That's acceptable. That's perfectly fine. You can take it a little bit more rare than that if you want, but it's more gelatinous. He doesn't believe pineapple can go on pizza. But I've tried to explain to him, and I have failed. I have failed to do so. That you have to prepare it a certain way in order to make it crispy and not waterlog the fucking pizza. But he won't believe me. And so we have a few differences of opinion with regards to cuisine. Otherwise, love the dude. Also, he can ride a motorcycle, and if I tried to do that, I'd fall over. F. Winters Loading, looks like we aren't at war with Iran by now. Trump made a gamble. I guess his gamble paid off. Yes, indeed. It looks like peace has broken out in the Middle East. This is good news. We'll see how long it holds up because there have been a number of ceasefires over the years between Israel and Iran. Just saying, we'll wait and see. BW, I wish Trump would have broken off the tips and taxes thing and voted on them separately. Dems would not want to come out and vote directly against taxing people less. Oh, don't underestimate the Democrats on their love for taxes. They probably would have voted against that. Probably wouldn't have even had the votes to pass with the cuck Republicans. Brad Armstrong, censorship lowers you to nothing. Yes, it's dehumanizing. It's the idea that some other authority has the ability to control your mind effectively. That's all it means. It's just a giant psychological operation. If they can't control the narrative, they can't control the people so easily, now can they? This is why language creoles exist. Oh, I love linguistics. I love it so much you have no idea. Language creoles and slang terms and things like that exist specifically because of censorship. So, you censor people and say, you're not allowed to say fuck. So people begin substituting the word boff. It means exactly the same thing. But it's not considered vulgar. Then boff is banned. So you say fornicate. Then you say something else, and so on down the line. Language creoles are fascinating, by the way. Rabbit, is he handsome? I don't consider myself handsome. I do consider myself a bit of a dandy, though. I can be charming. I can also affect a decent British accent if you want me to. Earth Prism 093. Where do you see Russia and Ukraine going? What can Trump do? He can broker a peace deal. He can talk to these people. Rabbit. Oh, I do. Oh my. Are you male or female? That is the question. Probably male. Which is funny. Harrison Bergeron, you are fundamentally correct. Yes, indeed. Oh, Rabbit's a female. Oh, goodness. Looks like I'm getting some sometime. Yeah. By the way, retarded retards retardation is technically a grammatically correct sentence. I just wanted to point that out. I've done that frequently. I find it funny. Bobby, how many gay men are in here right now? Enough to prop up the bar, probably. You have no idea how many gay dudes have hit on me. It's that sometimes is a little bit overwhelming, actually. F. Winters Lodig, Dems vote against cutting taxes and say it's because they want to only cut taxes for the wealthy, or the top 1%. I guess the top 1% is who makes money off of tips and overtime. I know. This is absolutely miraculously stupid. The Democrats have walked into a massive trap. By voting against the bill, they're effectively telling everyone who works as a server, everyone who works in the service industry at large, so we're talking, people who do DoorDash, people who do, anything like that, delivery services and stuff like that. Anyone who needs to work overtime because of the Bidenomic economy, they're basically telling them all to fuck themselves. That's a great idea. Yeah. Your problems will multiply. And it will be amusing. Copium poppies. James Cameron does not do what James Cameron does for James Cameron. James Cameron does what James Cameron does because James Cameron is James Cameron. Correct 2 sentences, actually. Brad Armstrong, why, Sticks? Why are they drawn to you? I have a feeling that a lot of gay men are drawn to me because of my long hair, actually, more than anything else. It's happened for years. Also, a lot of women, too. I don't know. I like the attention. I don't have any problem with it at all. Scientists make jaw-dropping find after drilling more than 1,500 feet into Antarctic ice. We even discovered a school of lobster-like creatures. So apparently this news tip actually is real. The river, about as tall as a 30-story building and wide as a city block, is a blend of freshwater and seawater slowly making its way towards the ocean. And they found lobster-like creatures in there. I'm going to have to hold that over until tomorrow, read the full article, because I don't have time right now. That sounds amazing, actually. One tall order. Whenever a scammer contacts me now, I just send them back a Photoshop picture of Barack Obama with his cock out. Yeah, it looks like they're drilling too deep into the ice, and civilization is about to be destroyed. Cheers. The crab people are going to come out of the ice and lay waste to humanity. Cthulhu will come, and those of us who have already been driven mad, we're the lucky ones. We can't suffer because we're already insane. So when they chain us to the wall without any food or water, we will suffer relatively less. Forest Hill, by the way, there is an occult playlist on my channel. There's over 400 videos in it. Don't worry, there will be more, by the way. Jacobs, unite and create for Life Farm. Sticks, I stole your likeness and made a clone of both me and you together. I hope that's okay. Totally okay. I've already told people if they want to do AI, mashups, Photoshop, anything like that, it's totally okay as long as it is not monetized unless you're giving me a cut. Tell me beforehand and I'm getting a cut, that's okay too. Cooking Inferno, Sticks, what are you doing for Independence Day? I'm gonna get some of those smoke bombs that are so fucking fun, by the way. And eat barbecue, basically. Then watch some fireworks. I'll probably dress up in a revolutionary garb if I can figure out the wardrobe. I wish I could find the Jacobin shirt. Then I would look like I was ready as a Minuteman in the militia or something like that. One tall order. Didn't any of those people watch the thing? Shaking my head. I know that I've watched it before. I can't remember much about it. One thing, what was the name of that movie? There was one movie that was made in the UK, and it dealt with the British military accidentally unleashing some, like, weird primordial life form from the crevice in the earth where they were mining uranium, if I remember correctly. And it killed a bunch of people, and they finally managed to subdue it. It was one of those really, really old 1950s era sub-B movies. I can't remember the name of it, though. I can't remember what the movie was called. I'm going to try to find it. Oh, yeah, and by the way, yeah, that's the one. Do you want to see a Protectron on film screen? Watch Voyage to the Prehistoric Planet, one of my favorite movies of all time. This was a movie that got completely panned. It has Basil Rathbone in it, by the way, which is fucking hysterical. It was partially dubbed over from Soviet film footage, actually. They had released a separate film. And so not all of it was even US made. But, so, you know, the lines are a little bit oddly delivered at times. But I thought it was an excellent movie. You want dinosaurs? You want robots? You want explosive volcanoes? You want weird plants that try to strangle people? Yeah, Voyage to the Prehistoric Planet. Look it up. It's free on YouTube, by the way. It's old enough to be effectively out of copyright, so. F. Winter's loading. Sticks, instead of the pirate hat for your next video, can you wear a privateer's hat? Well, they're the same thing. See, look, I got a sparrow feather here for a reason. I'm Jack Sparrow. People keep calling me that, so I figured I would just lean into it. Speaking of Independence Day, did any of you ever do the drain cleaner and aluminum foil in a 2-liter bottle thing? It would pressurize the bottle until it popped with a thunderous bang. That sounds relatively dangerous, actually. I suppose that would be a good improvised weapon if you really made it. Let's see what other insanity is in chat. Amy in Connecticut. Oh my, I remember you from long ago. I never predicted the Disney cosplay, to be honest. This is not cosplay. I wear this out on the town all of the time. Yes, I remember you. From years and years ago, actually. Interesting. I've been here for ages. Yes, but it seems like ages since you've actually super chatted or anything like that. Bobby said I'm getting frisky. Yeah. All right, well, I guess Jacob and Bobby are going to a hotel room tonight. No. Have fun, Anton, by the way. If Winter's loaded, Candace Owens said she would hate if we did regime change in Iran, but says we should do regime change in Israel. Yeah, I don't want to do regime change anywhere. Fuck them. Let them do what they want, you know? I'm getting memories. Just excuse me for a moment. I need caffeine. Bobby Bobinson is trying to put his eggplant into somebody. Good luck with that, my dude. Barack Obama. Bobby's asshole is what I like. Jesus. The people that sometimes are critical of me often have, it seems, bizarre fetishes for one another. It's fairly interesting, actually. Jesus H. Christ. Maître de nuit. I have no clue at this point what's happening in chat, actually. I don't even know at this point. Sometimes I look at chat and I sort of zone out because people are talking to each other about things that have nothing to do with the video. And it's just like, it's just an open chat room. Bobby Bobinson, rub your pirate feet on Alagussi in Alligator Alcatraz. Well, it's no longer Alligator Alcatraz. It's now Alligator Auschwitz, just to be clear. The left, for some reason, is conflating a deportation facility where you're deliberately releasing people at taxpayer expense with a concentration camp. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Cooking Inferno. Any thoughts on Asenov Mason occultist who is in Quetting's orbit? Oh, I've got several works by Quetting. You don't want to go down this rabbit hole in a live stream, because otherwise I'll be live for the next hour. Let it suffice to say that I am familiar with E.A. Quetting and certain people that were in his orbit. Asenov Mason, I believe, being one of them, actually. And there's some glowing going on. There's some whack-ass shit going on, among other things. There is some authentic Western occultism, but it's all tied into a weird terroristic Western network. I can talk about that at more length in the future. I've talked about it in brief before, but I've never made a more lengthy discourse on it. Let's put it this way. Several criminal organizations attempted to draft me into their ranks. Let's put it that way. And they were married on their fucking way. Although I did get some favorable deals on books. If Winter's loaded, Trump says he will agree to have the farmers take care of their illegal immigrants. What's that about? Well, I mean, you do have to pay people if people are doing work. That being said, I do not believe in using illegal labor on farms. I think that we should deregulate farming in the United States, incentivize it, and let the native population do farming. Is it necessarily great work picking turnips? No, it's backbreaking labor. But if you can get a good wage and afford, at least a roof over your head and to buy some of those turnips, and have a good meal and shit, should you be able to do so? Yes, absolutely. Palette mask. Sticks, you are a criminal now. You're in the club. Ha ha ha. Yes, I was found guilty of a crime in Louisiana. I'll be sentenced in 2 weeks. Ben Bacon, you need to repent of your wicked occult ways and become a Christian. Aren't you afraid of the afterlife? The one in which I'm your master? No, I'm not afraid of it at all. Not even slightly. Not even slightly. Trying to convert me is, trust me, a very much lost cause. Not gonna work, my dude. You can believe whatever you want to believe. I believe fully in your ability to believe in what you want to believe. You have the freedom of religion and so forth. I happen to disagree with Christians generally. God, I'm dripping water all over myself. Well, that sucks. Yes, Based Acid Fox, there is no afterlife. There are other realms of existence. Those of us with the force of will get to choose where we incarnate. Those of us without force of will do not. But everyone can work their way up. Sort of a hierarchical system of sorts. I know exactly who I am. This will be revealed fairly soon, by the way. Cooking Inferno. Oh, that's right. Sticks broke his cherry. Welcome to the Convict Club. Yeah, only in the state of Louisiana would that happen. It's a misdemeanor, crossover maniac. And if I become a Christian, meet Odin after I die, I would think myself insane. I have no reason to become a Christian. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guessed my name. Comes to mind. Dexter Spunky. Yes, I am, which is why I'm only drinking water and caffeinated beverages these days. It's rather sad when you think about it. If Winter's Lodig, Sticks, if they have found you guilty, I will do all I can to seek a Trump pardon for you. Nah, that'll never happen. Senior Jean, be gone, Satan. Well, I guess you guessed my name, but it's not Satan. Do you know the archetypal differences between the devil, Satan, and Lucifer within Christian lore, or Judeo-Christian lore, you should call it? The devil is the spirit of evil that is tempting you to do things that you should not do, that cause harm to your fellow man, and things of that nature. Rape and murder and torture and things of that nature. That's the devil. It's the spirit of evil. Satan is a mythology. There is no Satan. It does not exist. Lucifer is wrongly attributed to Satan, which again does not exist. But actually the term is used in the Bible to refer to Jesus Christ, actually. The fallen angel that you know of in the Bible, that you probably associate with Satan, actually is Jesus coming down from the sky. That's quite literally the translation. It's just that King James, I guess, didn't understand his Greek and Latin, which is rather sad because, he caused tens of millions of deaths, but that's exactly what happened. F-Wonders Lodig. What about Beelzebub? Beelzebub does not exist. I wish I could take you through all 72 of the Goetic demons, which do exist, by the way, and tell you about their real characters. Because whoever wrote the Lesser Keys of Solomon, we're not 100% sure, got the names and the basic idea right, but quite clearly did not get their characters right. It'll be a very interesting video now, won't it? I'll list off a few. My own personal friend, Stolas. You all know about him, probably by now. He's depicted pretty much as he is, within Hell of a Boss, actually, which is funny. I'm assuming Vivzi Papa has conducted some rituals. Stolas is a good dude. A little bit troubled at times, but generally a good dude. Then you've got Ammon, and the name is based, and this was his choice, I believe, although I'm not 100% sure, on the Egyptian deity. He's like the boring old dude who tours you around the museum and rambles endlessly about like ancient artifacts and stuff like that. Then you've got Mammon, of course, asshole. Astaroth, he's a cuck, and so forth. When I work these into the books and short stories that I'm making, I'm using my understanding of hell, actually. I'll elaborate on this in the near future. Don't worry, it'll be fine. Copium poppies, what about Beelzebub, the Canadian devil? Much worse than Beelzebub. Cooking Inferno, if I recall, Lucifer was actually the left hand of God before the fall, to be replaced by the Holy Spirit. You and I may differ on this, but in my Luciferian practice, that is what I've come to know. Well, you're talking to him right now. Believe it or not. Which is funny. Somebody is attempting to call me. Who could this be? Could be, yeah, I'll take your call in. Fucking. Yeah, Astaroth, Astaroth is a little bit of a cuck. He's the dude that gets, like, planted in the radish patch. Satan has done this on multiple occasions. Well, not Satan, but you know what I mean. It's a little bit difficult to explain to people who are not familiar with the lesser keys and things like that. Joe, no, I'm not talking to the devil because the devil is just the spirit of evil, the idea of evil, to do evil to your fellow man. If you are violating another person's rights, if you are violating their sentience, enslaving them, killing them, things like that, harming them, that's the devil. That's the only thing that it means. It literally means nothing else. The original meaning in the original Greek, according to the Jews, and this is where the Christian religion spawns from, that's why we call it Judeo-Christianity, that's the proper term. The original meaning of it is simply the spirit of evil, to do evil, to do ill. Satan doesn't exist. That's just basically a mythological dragon more than anything else. Doesn't exist. As far as Lucifer, Lucifer has a dual meaning. The bearer of light. It can refer to Jesus, or it can refer to someone who bears light. That's all it means. Quite literally, if I shine a flashlight at you, I'm being Lucifer at that time. Boycott Warhammer Plus. Hey Sticks, when do religions become mythologies? For example, how Hellenism is now. From that, do you think Islam and Christianity may become myths more than religion in the future? I hope they do, because people aren't really profiting off of them. I would say that all organized religions are mythologies. They're indifferentiated. They are the same. Bobby, Jesus chided the crowd for not knowing their scripture and was referencing the Book of Enoch. Good reference. I think I edited a version of the Book of Enoch at one point. Salty Reese's Cup. Damn flashlight Satanist. Yeah, I'm no Satanist, because Satan does not exist. There's no such thing as the devil. The spirit of evil is a concept, a metaphor. It's the idea that people can become possessed, and this is also a loose linguistic term, possessed by the will to do something that would be harmful to another person, that would cause harm to a person, society, something like that, that would cause harm maybe even to themselves. That's the devil. Satan is simply a mythological figure that stands in for what you generally know as the devil, as sort of a figure, a symbol of this particular evil power. Lucifer can refer to Jesus. Again, you've got to understand linguistics. The term Lucifer is translated from the New Testament several times and applies to Jesus Christ, actually. At other times, it applies to other fallen entities. It's not a term of darkness or evil. It's not the same as the devil or anything like that. It simply applies to various entities. By the way, please send no more super chats. I'm going to be covering more about this probably tomorrow, since people seem fascinated by the idea. And I fully approve. F. Winters Loading. Sticks, did you know that when linguists found Hindi and Sanskrit as an Indo-European language, like English, Latin, and Greek, they also found many similarities between Hinduism and ancient Greek religion? I did not know that. Oh, thank you for telling me. Ben Bacon, if magic worked, why don't you just make yourself a millionaire with a wealth spell and make all the sexy girls fall in love with you with a love spell? I've already accomplished the latter, but as far as the former, I don't care about your money. To tell the truth, I don't give a shit. It means nothing to me. What am I supposed to do with it? Buy shit that I can't maintain? I've got all sorts of shit already. If anything, I want to sell off 99% of my belongings, actually. Cooking Inferno. Missed my last one. Sorry, I'll get to that. Which makes sense, since in Latin, the left is the sinister, or sinistra, something attributed to Lucifer. Yes, it is the magical path. It means nothing sinister in the way that we generally use it in common parlance. People need to learn their goddamn spells. Yeah, Pixie, I'll start a cult and make you my concubine. Just saying. Anyway, yes. I've already told you who I am. It is real. But nobody will believe me anyway, so it doesn't make any sense to bother talking about it. I've got to watch Josh Slocum's Slocum Accounting. I'm assuming it's the podcast and probably not the company that I'm trying to look up, by the way. I'm going to go offline, and then I will have some fun. I've got to eat hamburgers. F. Winters Loading. The Triple B should include no taxes on super chats. Oh, I would love that. That would be amazing. FB3490. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guessed my name.